from the Estates Branch of the Collier County Public Library. Today's Storytime Encore features one of my favorite subjects, which is gardens. And you will never hear me talk about a children's story time about gardens without mentioning one of my favorite books. It's called The Flower Garden by Bunting. It's a classic book from a classic author. Very simple story about a little girl and her dad putting together a little garden. And it has rhyming text, it has big, beautiful illustrations, as you can see, and it also has a little bit of a kind of a surprise ending. So one of my favorites, again, it's The Flower Garden by Bunting. Another story, it's called Harriet and the Garden by Nancy Carlson, another classic children's author. And it doesn't really focus as much on the garden as it does on a problem in the story. And Harriet is playing ball and accidentally tramples one of the neighbor's prize flowers, and she and the other children run. And so it's kind of a moral lesson of what to do when something like that happens. It has a very good, satisfying ending. So that's Harriet and the Garden by Nancy Carlson. And I also recommend Anywhere Farm by Phyllis Root. This is a great story about gardening, and you don't have to have a great big plot of land. It talks about planting something in a shoe, or actually in a trombone. It's got some whimsical illustrations by a classic illustrator named Brian Karras. So it's called Anywhere Farm. I recommend that. And for a nice craft, this is one of my favorite crafts to do. It's a collage. And I like it because it allows children to just be very creative, and it uses things that you probably have just lying around the house. This is actually some wallpaper. So if you left over some wallpaper, I just cut out a vase. The children can draw some stems out of green marker. You can cut out flowers out of plain paper, or you can cut out flowers of old magazines or newspapers. Glue on anything that you have left over. If you've got leftover buttons from some kind of project or some clothing that you're throwing away, cut the buttons off before you throw it away. Leftover pom-poms, maybe you did a project that had pom-poms, you just got one or two left, they just glue them on, and the little twirls are little strips of paper that I've curled around a pencil and put on there. So a nice little garden collage. So have fun.